So all of today went by testing pretty much all the fully automatic rifles to find out what are the 5 best lowest recoil rifles inside Call of Duty Vanguard. And if you want to know what they are, make sure you stick around for the rest of this video. If you enjoy weapon comparisons and overall breakdowns for Call of Duty Vanguard, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. If you want to see TTK breakdowns and all that kind of stuff, like I said, all that will be on our main channel, and we already have a full TTK spreadsheet over there if you want to check it out. But like I said, this video is all about the 5 low recoil rifles, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you what the recoil looks like with these rifles, because I don't want to go over all of the weapons in the game and do a comparison because I'll be here all day. I'm just going to show you what the recoil looks like with these 5 weapons and then what the builds are. So here is my favorite recoil wall to do this kind of test on, and the first weapon is the STG. It's quite surprising, we all know the STG's got super low recoil, but with the build we have, we'll show you the recoil. I'm not actually going to try and control it because some of these weapons definitely do not need controlling. So we'll fire off the STG, see what the recoil looks like, and we'll show you the other weapons as well. So with the build we use, this is the recoil of the STG. As you can see, it's pretty much a vertical line upwards with not a lot of side-to-side bounce at all, so it's going to be very easy to control. And even if you're not controlling this weapon, it's pretty much going up the way, so you know exactly where the bullets are going. Then we've got the bar, which is another solid low recoil assault rifle. This gun is ridiculous when it comes to low recoil. So I'm going to fire the weapon off. I'm not going to control anything. We're just going to see what the recoil looks like on this gun as well. So that is the bar. Again, as you can see, for the first couple of shots, it almost didn't move at all. And then eventually it did gradually go up very slowly, might I add. But again, vertically upwards, very easy to control. If you're only firing a couple of bullets, which is all it takes to kill someone, your bullets are still going to be down here. It's only if you're firing for like ridiculously long periods of time. Next up, we have the Automaton, which is obviously another assault rifle, and assault rifles are probably going to be the most popular out of this category because they seem to have a good balance between movement and low recoil. But like I said, there is some other weapons that get in this category as well. But let's take a look at the recoil of this weapon. Once again, as you can see, this has got a much faster fire rate than the other 2 weapons, but again, it's very vertical recoil, which is very easy to manage. Once again, you just need to pull down on your analog stick a little bit, and you should be laser beaming people with this weapon. Next up, we have the MG42, and this is the lowest recoil LMG in the game, and pretty much the only LMG that doesn't have much recoil. The rest are ridiculously bad, but we'll fire this off and see what it looks like. Now, you can see there's a lot of side-to-side bounce with this gun, and obviously there's a lot of vertical recoil from what you might assume. But if you think about how many bullets you're actually firing off for this, which is basically 125 rounds, that is actually very accurate. And on top of that, all the bullets kind of cluster together very tightly, which is why I think this has got very low recoil. So next up, we actually have the G43, and that is a marksman rifle, but there is a full auto barrel attachment on this gun, and that is why it did make this list, because it has ridiculously low recoil as well. And we'll fire this weapon. There's a lot of visual recoil, as you just saw, but in terms of like actual recoil on the gun, it keeps firing in the exact same spot as you can see. So there's pretty much no recoil in this gun whatsoever, and it's kind of similar to the way it is when it's semi-automatic. This is the exact same kind of recoil, so it's going to make it way easier for some people to control. And then lastly, when it comes to SMGs now, the lowest recoil SMG in the game is actually the Type 100, and to be honest, this is the best SMG in the game, regardless of anything. But the Type 100 definitely has the lowest recoil, so we'll fire this off as well, see what that looks like. As you can see, it's nowhere going to be as accurate as some of the assault rifles or marksman rifles, but it's definitely a very accurate gun still. It just goes pretty much vertically upwards once again, with not a lot of vertical recoil, so you can still easily use this weapon in those kind of medium ranges. So when it comes to builds now, work our way back. So you're starting off at the Type 100, and this is the build that we used. So we use the stabilizer, which is going to help with accuracy as well as damage range. You don't necessarily need the damage range, but it does help with that accuracy. And the fact that all these assault rifles and SMGs especially have that kind of bloom effect when you're firing the weapon, you do need the stabilizer on there. And it's kind of one of the benefits of using an LMG or attack rifle, is that it doesn't actually have that effect in game. Then we use the carbon foregrip, and that's for the recoil control as well as hipfire accuracy, because it is an SMG, you do want to hipfire with this weapon. We use the 374mm barrel, which helps with recoil. It also helps with flinch resistance as well. We use the Russian short ammo, which is the best for the TTK. Hollow point rounds, which helps you get a kind of more consistent TTK with the extra limb damage. We use the stipple grip tape for the recoil recovery and initial recoil control. Vital proficiency because it's OP and broken. And we used the fully loaded kit. We chose to opt away from a stock because overall it's going to either slow down your movement speed or hinder some kind of movement mechanic that we do need, or it's going to con your recoil. So none of these really help too much. And then we use the Model 47 optic. Moving on to the G43 now, again we use the stabilizer for the accuracy more than anything else. You also do get a boost to your damage range, which is not super important, but the cons are to sprint to fire and hip fire accuracy, which isn't all too important with a weapon like this. Then we use the M1 hand stop underbarrel, which is the best for any long range rifle because it helps with that accuracy once again. It also helps with your recoil control. Then for the mag attachments, we use the 30.06 ammo. Now it does have the lowest capacity out of most of these options here. Some you've got 20 rounds, but the issue with using those ones are that it doesn't have the fastest TTK. The 30.06 rounds have the best TTK, and we've got a full breakdown on our main channel if you want to see that. And then we've got the full auto barrel, which does reduce your damage, hence why we use the better mags, so that you can bring up the TTK of this weapon, because the full auto barrel does reduce it. We use the 2.5x optic, which actually does help with recoil and accuracy, so this is probably one of the reasons why this gun is super accurate. Stipple grip tape for the recoil recovery and recoil control. Tight grip, which is very important for any weapon that does have it. This is going to reduce the recoil a ton. Then we used fully loaded, and then we used the ZP custom stock, and that's for the horizontal recoil control and the faster aim down sight speed. Next up we have the G42. Once again, that stabilizer once more, it's the best at giving you less bloom, which is probably the most important thing. Then we use the M1 hand stop underbarrel once again to help with that accuracy as well as recoil control. We then use for the barrel, we use the 680mm barrel, and that's again going to help with the recoil control. It does con your sprint to fire and your hip fire accuracy. The anti-material rounds for this LMG is the best rounds, again for TTK. No other attachments really affect your damage or anything like that, so you're still going to get that super fast TTK with this gun. Then for the optics, we chose the 2.5x once again, because you will be again using this gun at longer ranges. You do get a benefit to recoil and accuracy. We use a leather grip this time because it is an LMG. It does ADS pretty slow. We just wanted a slightly faster ADS time. Then for the stock, again we chose a stock that gave us a slightly quicker ADS time, and it also helps with the horizontal recoil as well, which is very handy. Again, the tight grip once again, because if it is available on a weapon that's got a lot of recoil, definitely give it a go because it reduces the recoil a ton. And then we use fully loaded once more. The next weapon build was the Automaton, and then we've got the muzzle. Once again, we've got the stabilizer for the same reasons as before. The M1 hand stop for the same reasons as before. It helps with the accuracy of the weapon, and especially on assault rifles, it's very important that you use attachments that are going to help with accuracy, not necessarily recoil control. Then for the barrel, we did use the 600mm barrel, and this is going to help with that recoil control, and it's going to con your sprint to fire and hip fire accuracy once again. Then for the magazine, we used the 8mm mags, and that is because, once again, this is the one that gives you the fastest TTK on this gun. Hollow point rounds once again, because it gives you the increase to limb damage. Stipple grip tape helps with recoil in this case, so we definitely went for that. You could go for the faster ADS one if you wanted to. Again, we went for tight grip because, again, like I said, it helps a ton with recoil. Fully loaded, once again, we skipped over the stock this time because, again, the cons just are not worth it for the kind of benefits we're getting, plus this gun has super low recoil anyway. And then the optic, we chose a 2.5x once again. Next we have the bar, and again we use the stabilizer once more for the accuracy and the damage range. M1 hand stop, once again for the accuracy and recoil control. For the barrel this time we used a 27-inch barrel, and this is going to help with, again, the recoil control, the damage range, and it's going to stop your gun bobbing around a little bit as well. So it does con like your ADS walking movement speed and your sprint to fire, but it's a con that you're going to need to take with this gun. For the magazine, we chose the 50 BMG ammo, and again, this is the one that gives you the fastest TTK. Hollow point rounds once again, because I just like the hollow point rounds. We used the leather grip this time, and the reason why is because this gun does have, but it has one of the worst ADS times out of the bunch of weapons on this list. So that's why I wanted to get the ADS as quick as possible. Then we used hard scoped, which increases your accuracy whilst your ADS. So again, it's going to make this gun very accurate. We used fully loaded, and then we did choose a stock this time. Again, it's mainly for that ADS aspect, because the ADS on this gun is very slow. So using those two ADS attachments, we managed to get it down to 352 milliseconds, which is a little bit quicker. And then again, we used the 2.5x optic. And last but not least, we have the STG. Again, the build's very similar here. So again, the stabilizer for the accuracy as well as the damage range. The M1 hand stop for the accuracy and the recoil control. We used the 45 round drum mags, and that is because it gives you the fastest TTK. Then we used the hollow point rounds because I like the hollow point rounds. Stipple grip tape this time for the recoil control. For proficiency, we chose Vital because it is the best one. If you have it available in any of your weapons that you like using, then make sure you choose the Vital proficiency. It's going to give you a faster TTK overall. Then for kit, we use fully loaded once again. You can choose whatever you want here. For stock, we skipped over this, and that is because for the kind of cons you're going to get on this gun, it's not really needed to get any more recoil control or anything like that, because the gun's already relatively accurate anyway. So you don't really want to use any stock. For optic, 2.5x once again, and is the 760mm barrel we use this time, and that is for the recoil control once more. And again, this is probably one of the best weapons because it's one of the first you unlock. Like I said at the start of this video, this is not going to be the best build for all of these weapons. It's just going to be the lowest recoil build, so you can adjust these slightly if you do want to make it slightly faster in terms of ADS, or if you want the movement to be a little bit quicker. But if you enjoyed this video and you learned something new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. And click the link in the description and subscribe to our main channel. We are posting extra stats content over there as well. And thank you very much for watching.